Hi, good morning. Showing you a disassembly of a 1978 Chevy Cheyenne square body pickup. I'm gonna go through it pretty quick here. So, we had side panel, front panel, and the other side panel is exactly the same. And you see it's in there in the garage, but I'm just gonna show you the one side. So with these, for coming off, you have one bolt right there at the bottom, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, 4 bolt, 5 bolt, 6 bolt, 7 bolt. This one's the only tricky one. This one you need to remove something else to get to it. Alright, so that's the front side. As you can see, it lines up with your front panel side. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That right here is the tricky bolt. That one is covered up by this grill. This grill is an easy part to take off. It is the top one here and bottom one there. Go from under, go from on top. And to get to these easy, you can take off the light covers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws down at the bottom. That little hidden one. Take those off. Get to the top on both sides. Get underneath in between the bumper with an extension and a socket. And you got all those off. That's going to be your front clip part. So that's an easy one to get off. Then for the remainder of the side, you will need to go in between the door jamb for this bolt, and then down at the bottom, and be cautious with it. This bottom one from underneath inside the truck is usually really rusted. My truck's in really good shape and it's still rusted. So that's going to be underneath the truck, so keep in mind for that. Then you'll have only 2 main bolts on the inner fender well. You don't have to take off the inner fender well. You're just going to have the 2 main. So you got that one and that one. Take those 2 off and you'll be good there for as far as the whole entire fender well. Then on top, underneath the hood, you'll have 1 other main bolt. So you take those off and you're all done. Hood, of course, 2 bolts, slide off the hood, you're good to go. Now, if you want to leave components on this side, just had cruise control and washing fluid for the window. Just disconnect the hose, undo the 2 bolts, pop up the cruise control on the spring over there, and you'll be good to go. You don't even have to take it apart. So that's the side. On the other one, the only difference over here is you're going to have the battery mount. Battery mount will have a few extra bolts. Mine was completely rusted out, so if yours is too, it'd probably be a little easier. You can tear it apart if you need, but it's just going to have 2 bolts against the side and another one down on the fender well. As far as the rest of the fender well, it would just have your jack stand and pretty much nothing else on it. I can double check and show you in here. So it's just going to be your jack stand, but it'll have your battery mount right there at that bolt. So that's the only other bolt you need to move, besides all the other same on the others. Now, as far as getting this off with your radiator and the front piece. So this bracket here goes on top of this right here. So you'll have all the bolts on the bottom side. So all of the bottom ones to take this bracket off. And this bracket will then have, but before you do that, you want to do your radiator bracket top. So that bracket right there will just have these bolts here. You can take off the radiator bracket, then take off the front clip bracket. And then all you'll have left is a couple bolts, 1, 2, and 3, or just 2, sorry, 2. And then this whole front will come off. You also have your clip, which is separate, so you don't have to take that off if you don't need to. You also don't have to take off the hood latch if you don't need to off of this guy. Now inside, this guy will sometimes be pinched, if you have AC, by the AC bolts up here. If it is, hit it with a hammer. When you're here, hit it with a hammer to pop it out of it if they accidentally pinched it in there. Because other than that, you can go behind the bolt once you get the top part off with the radiator cover, and you can go in there and loosen them up. If you can't, pop it up with a hammer, loosen them up, then pop it up with a hammer. You'll get it out. The AC rad does not need to come out to remove this front piece. This front piece is only 2 main bolts right down there once you get these side panels off. And as far as the grill, of course, it's pretty simple. They're just screws hidden behind the grill grates right there. 4 of them, that's it. So in general, front clip of the Chevy radiator, it's pretty simple. I take the radiator out before I take this guy out, just for convenience. So right here on that side, you have your little drain plug. Just drain it and wait a while. It won't drain everything because you're still, when you remove the radiator hoses, be prepared to have a bucket under those because they will drip too. But you can get those as well. Let's see, what else am I missing? Other than that, as far as disconnecting components, the only thing in order to take this guy off they need to disconnect is the radiator and the 2 AC lines. My AC was dry, thankfully, and it's being converted. If yours is not, be prepared. They can be under pressure. They will spray out if you don't drain your system properly. So please watch out for that. But you can leave that on. Just take out the radiator, disconnect the linkages. The only other thing will be the wiring harness that you have to disconnect, but you just unclip from these if they're clipped on there properly. Sometimes they're really loose and you just pull out the wiring harness. I'll show you that when we're all said and done, but that's it for the front clip. So I hope this helps you if you're disassembling a square body pickup. Have a good one.